Hello and welcome to From the South, teleSur's daily news show. We start off in Latin America. Colombia's government on Tuesday ordered the takeover of crisis-hit electricity distributor Electrocaribe, a unit of Spain's Fenosa. The action was announced by the Superintendency of Residential Public Services with the goal of ensuring service to several provinces. The government of Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto is preparing for bilateral talks with President-elect Donald Trump. One of the expected topics of discussion is Trump's promise to deport undocumented Mexican immigrants living in the United States. The leaders are expected to meet before Trump takes office on January 20th. Trump has rallied for over a year on promises to construct a massive wall along the U.S. border with Mexico, but has since scaled down the rhetoric slightly after winning the election, saying that fencing may be used in some areas. Peña Nieto also met with his Panamanian counterpart Juan Carlos Varela this week. The two agreed to implement a new system to trade information on citizens traveling between the two countries. The agreement will allow the countries to exchange security information. It will also allow for the detention of those who travel for illegal and irregular purposes within their respective borders. Cuba will grant pardons to 787 convicts in response to Pope Francis's call to all heads of state for acts of clemency. Those released will include women, youth, and those who are sick, according to the newspaper Granma. Cuba said those convicted of murder, rape, child abuse, and drug trafficking would be excluded from the pardon. Pope Francis chose the theme of mercy for the holy year that Roman Catholics started celebrating last December. The period, officially proclaimed by the pontiff as the Extraordinary Jubilee of Mercy, ends on Sunday.
Honduran President Juan Hernandez has been nominated to be the National Party's presidential candidate for the 2017 general elections, even though the constitution prohibits re-election. For many, this is an illegal action. For the Libre Party, the only way of stopping Hernandez's goal of holding on to power is at the polls next year. As in 2013, the candidate of the Libre Party in the National Resistance Front will again be Xiomara Castro, the wife of ousted President Manuel Zelaya.
Nuevamente el proceso con más esperanza, con más convicción.
We are again in this process with more hope, more conviction, a better understanding of the country's reality. We are better prepared to face Juan Orlando with the confidence that we are going to win. There is no arena that we can say is working for the benefit of the people. In everything, in health, education, economic development, agrarian support, investment, you can see it's not working.
Atención en el agro, te das cuenta que inversión, te das cuenta que ninguna de esas áreas ha funcionado.
According to recent polls, 70% of the people are against Hernandez's forced re-election goal. Xiomara Castro and the Libre Party are looking to attract those votes in the upcoming elections.
We have a stronger party. It's better organized. We just had our internal elections that allow us a better political structure that will move us to defeat this dictatorship and to face an electoral process that hasn't been reformed. But with the strength of the Libre Party and the dignity of Xiomara Castro, we will win the elections.
In 2013, Xiomara Castro presented proof that there was fraud in the election with manipulation of the results in at least 3,000 of the 16,000 voting places. But the Electoral Court and international observers did nothing. Now the Libre Party says that only a large turnout can stop Hernandez. This time they are calling on the 25% of the voting age population that didn't vote 3 years ago and now to cast their vote. The electoral process in Honduras has begun. Gerardo Torres, teleSur, Honduras.
U.S. President Barack Obama met with Greek Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras in Athens earlier Tuesday. Obama shared the U.S. responses to the economic crisis, promoted some sort of debt relief, and his view that austerity alone cannot deliver prosperity. This is Obama's last trip to Europe as President of the United States. On Monday, hundreds of students in several U.S. states, including California and Maryland, walked out of classrooms to protest Donald Trump's election as president. Some students in East Los Angeles held signs that read "Rise Up" and "Together We Stand," as well as American and Mexican flags. At least 3 people were killed after intense airstrikes resumed in rebel-held districts of eastern Aleppo. However, Russia's defense ministry has said that Russian and Syrian jets had not bombed Aleppo for the last 28 days. And Russia has launched the operation against armed opposition fighters in the embattled Syrian provinces of Homs and Idlib, according to a top Russian military official. Russia is using the Admiral Kuznetsov aircraft carrier for the first time in its history. Fighter jets launched from the carrier are targeting arms depots operated by rebels. Russian Economy Minister Alexei Yulikayev has been arrested after he was allegedly caught accepting a bribe worth $2 million, according to a Russian anti-corruption body. Yulikayev is a senior member of President Vladimir Putin's government. He was previously deputy chairman of Russia's central bank. 2 Hong Kong pro-independence lawmakers vowed to appeal the court's decision which disqualifies them from taking office. The court ruled their oath of allegiance invalid in a judgment in step with Beijing. According to Congress, candidates who take the oath of office in an insincere manner will be disqualified and not given another chance to swear in.
The Knesset's Ministerial Committee for Legislation backed a bill Sunday to ban mosques from using loudspeakers to broadcast calls for prayer in Jerusalem and in the 1948 occupied territories. The bill is likely to be passed for approval since it has the support of the ruling coalition. The call of prayers, also known as Adhan, is broadcasted 5 times a day through mosques and Islamic centers.
The calls for prayer are a legitimate right for Muslims. Adhan dates back to thousands of years ago since the days of Prophet Abraham. Adhan is a legitimate duty towards God. We support Arab Knesset member Ahmad al-Tibi for reciting Adhan in the Knesset.
Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu supported the ban on the Adhan call during a cabinet meeting last week. Although each call for prayer takes less than 2 minutes, Netanyahu referred to complaints by non-Muslim citizens, also the excessive noise caused by Adhan in the country. Meanwhile, Ahmad al-Tibi, a Knesset member of the Arab Joint List, said the bill was discriminatory against Muslims and the latest among many Israeli attempts to harm the feelings of Muslims. During a Knesset session Monday, al-Tibi recited the Islamic call to prayer within the plenum in protest of the new Israeli law. Nuharazin Tirsu TV, Palestine.
Finally, a Frida Kahlo painting, which has never been publicly exhibited, will be auctioned next week in New York. The whereabouts of the painting, titled Niña con Collar, has been a mystery for 60 years. The 1929 oil on canvas will go on the auction block on November 22nd, with an estimated value of between $1.5 and $2 million. And that's all for From the South. You can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurtv.net/English.